I just look the other person in the eye. I'm annoyed. I knew they hadn't done any. It was me, still stuck. That wall I called. Still wrestling the demon in my. So he was quiet. Time after here. Then he put a hand on my. Let's go find Barry. Let's find your. And put that demon. Chapter 13. Return. So he brought me back to the ruins of River. Sheed quarters had always been. City we crossed over half the damn country. There, what was once Apris. Countless test subjects was now over. Undead, he wielded a claw blade. Carried a 3-edged bayonet. We carved our way heading straight for River. There was Temic left inside almost. Had been looted, we made. SC avenged 2 submachine. Which serious libel. Zombie killing a 3 years. I returned to that and made my way to the ark. I decided looking up Barry's file one. Back when I wanted to go live in his hometown. Came up empty-handed and I was pressed for time so I who knew it was sitting right next door and it didn't even take much effort. Nolan's file without breaking. One look at and all doubt vanished. My Barry, he was also Zoe. He was never my age. Tina had been right. He was 10 years old. A 24-year. Wearing the face of a 14. Showing up as our peer gaining our. Altering the course of our. According to. He'd undergone modification surgery too. Unlike us orphans raised in the organ. From my young age he'd volunteer. The money, a human guinea pig by. He didn't want Tina. So he said he was going overseas. If recovery took. Or if something. The story would. There was once a girl. A well-known case of progeria reversal. She looked and functioned like a baby despite being 12. But her body slowly crumbled under illness, trapped in an eternal diseased and deteriorated. Some of Brooke's preserved tissues organs were still around. River got their them. That's when experimenting with Nolan was the first test. After the genetic, his appearance did stop aging. The factor didn't manifest in, but his insides continued to decay. His still wore down, and his outward form remained. Those internal systems took even more strain. Lifespan would be even shorter than. The experiment was a. He sent all the money to Tina. Faked his death and kept. Not everyone. Friend to help. But for those. He was always there. Then vanishing with a convenient tragedy. Reading that file made the years of my life feel like. So he kept flipping through. Scanning for anything. You think he's. I don't know. And I didn't. But we have to know. Feel like if you don't really face him you'll never. I didn't answer. I just picked file and began flipping. Among all of River's altered. Zoe was one of the more normal ones. Others had snake-like razor fangs or total. 80% of River's recruits orphanage we grew up in were a mixed bag from. I started thinking of days before it. Back when I still lived in that. Zoe, you came from the orphanage. That place was huge. If River, who's funding its operation? He thought about it. No idea if over, but it probably doesn't to matter anymore. Way too late. After the. Even if the orphanage still. Even so, I still wanted. Maybe if I just stayed there now, I could have turned.